For those of you who don't know, I am a massive F-Zero fan. In early 1992, when my family got their tax returns back, we picked up a Super NES, and while I wanted the accompanying game purchase to be Final Fight, it wasn't in stock, and so my mom deferred to her own preference, which was F-Zero. She had been fascinated by F-Zero in particular leading up to our purchase of the system, going all the way back to that original marketing push, that one where the guy gets flattened by G-forces while playing the game. I was originally kind of disappointed for not getting to play that beat-em-up at home that I really liked from one of our local grocery stores, and then I proceeded to put way more time into F-Zero than I did even the copy of Super Mario World that was bundled with the system. And this started a lifelong fandom of 2D F-Zero that holds up to this day. 3D F-Zero? That's a subject I'll pass on as much as possible. This is Little Akiba Games. I'm Patrick. Welcome back to the shop. Of all the leaks and rumors surrounding Nintendo Switch games, there are still a whole lot of well-founded bits of information that are pretty well locked in by association with other leaks that have already come to pass, like Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door and Metroid Prime Remaster. There's a lot of good stuff in there that has me convinced that the Switch is going to have the kind of tale that compares to the PS2, and I'm thrilled about the apparent pipeline with games like Skies of Arcadia, Custom Robo, some yet unnamed Bandai Namco project, and most notably for this topic, F-Zero GX, supposedly with the added subtitle Recharged. Now we've known about F-Zero GX Recharged for quite some time now, it's just the wait now to see them unveil it at some future direct or another. It was apparently just lagging behind the Thousand Year Door remake in development, and Nintendo sat on that game for over a year before finally finding a spot for it on the calendar. When we finally see Recharged, there's a very real chance that it could be a shadow drop, and it feels like we're getting closer to it by the day. One item of particular interest is F-Zero 99. What started out as a Battle Royale take on the original SNES release has evolved into a vault of content that could satisfy any fan of 2D F-Zero, and continues breaking new ground for the series in its multiplayer approach. Even better, we recently got an update to it that adds the cars and tracks from the Japanese exclusive Satellaview release of F-Zero. This is a deep, deep cut that I never thought we'd see globally in any capacity outside of emulation, but here we are, it's a welcome sight. That news was accompanied by something equally historic. Being added to Nintendo Switch Online's Game Boy Advance selection on October 11th would be F-Zero GP Legend, one of my personal favorites, and making its global debut in its own right, F-Zero Climax, which I hadn't even found my way to up to this point. Maybe I'll do a deep dive into it on stream sometime. It was a hell of a birthday present, and it might be something fun to mark my return to Twitch with, which I'm still planning on doing. The interesting thing here is, with the exception of GX itself, and the even deeper cut that is G-Zero, aka Zero Racers, which may or may not even exist in playable form today, the F-Zero series has now been made whole on the Switch. There's a very real possibility that the system is on pace to play host to the entire series to date, and that's really remarkable given how neglected it has been in recent years. Now I could do a whole video about what's left for the actual final Switch-centric Direct, and maybe I already have. But you have to imagine that all of this news is building up to the release of GX Recharged, and perhaps even more. What does a proper F-Zero GX Recharged even look like, though? The big concern that I have is that it's just a remaster, and not truly as recharged as it needs to be in 2024 or 2025. A bare minimum would have the F-Zero AX content available through a simple title menu item with no hacking or arcade data required, because really, how would you expect to interface the GameCube memory card with the Switch anyway, even if you were to find an AX arcade cabinet around anywhere these days? I think if you mix that with online play, which, let me be clear, I don't underestimate the difficulty of implementing just because of how stupidly fast F-Zero GX is, but that would make a pretty compelling retail package. If it can somehow be rounded out with a track editor, so much the better, we would have something truly special on our hands. Here's where it gets juicy. I said last month in the wake of the Nintendo Switch 2 factory leaks that it's safe to say that the Switch 2 is at least in such proximity that it's now a valid topic of conversation. Something that I wouldn't really grant it before. Now I'm still Team 2025 for both the launch and the reveal. I think the February Direct is still going to be entirely focused on the original recipe Switch. But you could absolutely convince me that whenever the reveal does happen, probably in March, there just might be a brand new F-Zero title revealed alongside the system, and perhaps even launching along with it when that time comes. I'm not going to speculate about what this might entail in terms of its gameplay loop or features. Just the fact that the stars look to be aligning for such a revitalization puts a huge smile on my face. But how about all of you? Do you get the same sense that I do that Nintendo is revving up the F-Zero franchise for a full-scale restoration? Or are we just lucky to apparently be getting a GX remaster at some point in the relatively near future on top of the F-Zero 99 expansion and the NSO releases? Let me know down in the comments and let's imagine the future of this series together. That's all for now. If you like this video, then please be sure to like, comment, share, and especially subscribe to make YouTube aware of your support for the channel. If you want to know right away when all my videos drop, then click the notification bell and make sure to check the all option from there. And honestly, do this for all of your favorite channels, whether that includes mine or not. It's how we make YouTube a better service in the long run. Either way, I hope to see you back here next time at Little Akiba Games.